Good evening everyone and welcome along to TTML F2. We are here for Season 7, Round number 1 of the Championship as we take in the Bahrain Grand Prix from the Sakhir International Circuit. My name is James Hay, going to be taking to the stream as always on a Thursday night, and joining me in the commentary box, normally meant to be Storm of course going forward this season, but we've got a very familiar face back in the commentary box for F2. It's Mr. Pepsi Freak. Pepsi, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Only thing right now is I can't join the session because it says I can't join the game session right now, so I'm gonna need one more quick invite. But regardless of that, it's good to be back here again. I was gonna try to wait the surprise there, but sometimes the best laid plans of mice and men.
Exactly. It's best to be obviously getting everything late as you do. Might be a case. Have you got your game restarted by any chance? Have you restarted your game?
I'll restart it right now, just to say, because it.
Yeah, restart it right now.
That's what I'll do right now.
Yeah, restart it right now, and I'll send you an invite. So I'm going to go blue screen for a second, which means you can hear my lovely northern voice, as always. And you will get an invite, Mr. Pepsi Freak. There we go. Oh, and we started the stream, obviously, a little bit behind. Well, I started the introduction a little bit behind schedule, because I've obviously been doing the thumbnail and everything on the stream as well. But we are here tonight, of course, for F2, TTML F2, and it is Season 7. And, of course, if you are unfamiliar with the drivers that we have got for this season, let me tell you then who is in what teams. So, in the Mercedes, we've got XL Bray and Tom LD. Tom, of course, was part of the Alpine team, I think, last season. DJ Giel and Simply Superman are in the Ferrari. Noisy and Jorg making the step up from the sister team of AlphaTauri to the Red Bulls. Alpine, represented by Neymar and Tibos. Aston Martin, represented by my pick for the TTML F2 Championship, Yona and ERT Ramazan. Williams, represented by TNR Husby and TNR Chionis. Nick Houston and Nathan Clark are in the Haas. Alfa Romeo, represented by Amadi and Yana. McLaren, FER Frankie Break FN. And AlphaTauri, filling the footsteps, of course, of Noisy and Jorg, are Pyro and NSR Ray Meader. Casper, David Child, and Sparks are the three reserves for the division, as it looks like we are about to get underway, of course, for F2 this season. And Pepsi, looking at that grid, once again a stacked field, and some very interesting names, I've got to say, for the constructors' standings as well.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of teams that can stand out there. Obviously, we know Red Bull, well, former sister team AlphaTauri, now Red Bull. They've been promoted up. They're going to be one to watch out for as well. You can't count out Yona in Aston Martin. He'll carry that team to some glory, and hopefully Ramazan can't keep up. We also got as well, you could probably throw out some bones again for Red Bull. I'm sorry, I said Red Bull. Ferrari as well could be another team to watch out for. I think there's many teams that could kind of take the reins here, and if they can keep the consistency up, definitely be one to watch out for in the constructors.
Yeah, definitely so, and obviously we go here into Bahrain not knowing a lot about these drivers. Of course, it is Season 7, we can obviously pick the bones out of last season as well, and say that, of course, Jorg won the championship, hasn't made the step up, of course, to F1, as you would normally expect, of course, in a league race, but here, in TTML, Jorg has got his chance to defend his title, and against, of course, a rampaging Yona who won 6 out of the last 7 races, and was probably one of the drivers of the season.
Oh, he was one of the drivers of the season. I think Fairness was the driver of the first half. Yona was the driver of the second half. And again, I hate to hammer on it, but like France, if France doesn't happen, we may be singing a different song right now. But again, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, every day would be Christmas. And Yona going to try to shake that off and come here strong. And like I said during the placement show as well, since this is like the last season we're going to do on this game cycle before the next game comes out, we're going to see the peak of the drivers. They've had 2 seasons on this game to figure out how these cars work, how these tracks work, and they've gotten acclimatized towards it, and we're going to see the best of the best out of these drivers, and hopefully we'll see a nice, fair fight at the top for the championship, whether it be the already preseason favorites, or maybe someone we're not looking at right now that may come in and surprise.
Yeah, definitely. So 19 drivers, though, about to do battle, of course, around the desert circuit of the Sakhir International Circuit. Of course, first came here in 2004, where, of course, Michael Schumacher won, and Pedro de la Rosa, of course, set the lap record, which still is held to this day, as we taken, of course, 5.4 kilometres and then 3.3 mile, 15 turns awaiting the drivers out on track with the 3 DRS zones, 1 down the start-finish straight, 1 down in towards turn number 4, and then 1 down in towards the old F2 pit straight down in towards turn number 11. My pick for the championship, QRT Yona, is the first man out on track. He's on a set of medium compound tyre, and we should expecting Pepsi to be in and around, you would imagine, the 126 mark, 125s perhaps?
I feel like that's fair. 126, 125. You always seem good on your numbers, and that's what I was thinking in the pre-show there as well. They get around that number. But right now, Yona is on a set of mediums, though, so obviously we're not going to see it out of him right away. And we do got strategy as well with tires, because one stop is optional. It could happen. We'll see if anyone can make, because tire wear is a little bit pain around here, and there are some tricky corners that, especially in the third sector, if you clip that inside, it's going to be a little bit of a pain and a little bit of a nightmare. So this track can always provide a little bit of some surprises if you're not careful, and along with that long straight. So I think the answer to your question, the times we will see, and yeah, it'll be interesting to watch.
Apparently there's no sound coming through, which is weird. No, I can hear you fine. Funky Chicken, I think, that's just coming through with a comment saying he might be watching it on no sound. But Yona out on top at the minute. He's the first man, of course, out on track. And we've got to wish a happy birthday, it seems, to Mr. Neymar. Neymar, it's his birthday. Unfortunately, he's got the pleasure of joining and driving here in TTML F2 tonight. Couldn't think of a better night to spend my birthday, to be honest, than driving around here in TTML F2. But Yona is the first man.
I think he's 44, if I'm not mistaken, for Lewis Hamilton.
He might be 11. It might be in his name. Yona turning towards turn number 1 on a set of medium compounded tyres. Let's see then what the driver can do. Of course, the Dutchman, the flying Dutchman from last season, through turn 3 and then up the run and towards turn number 4. Up the hill, of course, in towards turn number 4. And Yona is looking good on this lap so far. We should be expecting around a sub 27 through the first sector as Yona really fights the car, actually coming through turn number 4 and then now through 5, 6 and 7 and then in towards the right hander, of course, of turn number 8. And Yona didn't look too bad. He was 28.1, I think, through the first sector. Of course, no TAS system here tonight in TTML F2 and for the foreseeable future, of course, all TTML divisions. Yona now comes down towards turn 9 and then through the left-hander of turn number 10. He's looked quite neat, I've got to say, on this lap. Of course, had a moment coming out of turn 4, degraded some of the speed away, but Yona and the Aston Martin is looking good at this point as he now comes through in toward the left-hander of turn 11. Of course, opening up that second DRS straight, and now in towards Car Killer Corner at turn number 12. It can really catch a few drivers out. 105.4 through the middle sector from Yona. Don't think this is really a push lap, to be honest, from Yona. He can probably go a lot quicker than what he is showing at this moment in time as the Aston Martin now runs down in towards the final 2 corners through the right hander of 14 and then of course through the kink of 15. I don't know how you can call it a corner, to be honest, but Yona on the run towards the line, and he is going to come across the line to set a 126.9. So already in the 26s, that's on a set of mediums. Jonas is only gone a 10th quicker, and obviously with more drivers now to come and set their lap times, is Yona's lap time quite representative?
I think it's actually kind of impressive. He did it on a set of mediums, and Jonas is in the 126. Then we'll obviously just see the Ferrari go there and do a 126.3. So, yeah, I was thinking, like, we know Jonas was about a midfield driver last season, so if that's his pace on mediums, it may be a little bit interesting to note, because also Brake was on mediums, and he did a 127.383. So, a little bit, again, mixed strategy here right now. It looks like Jonah's going to probably be the fastest of the medium runners here. We do have Jorg on a run as well as he's coming into the third sector. One more corner to go here. We'll see what he can do here in his Red Bull, his new little promotion here. Up in the grid here. Going to go through the last corner here. Get a relatively good on exit here. Gets the power down. I think it's going to be a 127 if I'm not mistaken. It will. It'll be a 127.812. So a bit of a slow lap from our defending champion. It's going to put him between a Haas and his former AlphaTauri in 10th. But yeah, only 5 drivers have elected to go on softs. Actually 6 now, as we just saw Husby take a run there. So again, very mixed bag here at the very least, but soft runners are in the top 4 slots.
Yeah, Tibos just going 6th there as well, 26.9. To give comparison to the middle sector between Tibos and Jorg, Tibos was 6/10 quicker through the middle sector than Jorg, so obviously that is now why he's 8/10 clear of Jorg, of course, defending champion in 11th position. Jana, of course, making his way up from F4, I believe, last season. The Finn, who I've had the pleasure of commentating on before in TTML F4, now coming through the right-hander of turn number 8, and then in toward the left-hander of turn 9 and 10. Jamie, by the way, in the comments section, I think echoing what we'll come on to, of course, when we go into the actual race. Softs don't last 2 minutes around here, and it really depends, I think, on driving style around here. If you go quite aggressive on that sort of soft compound tyre, you're going to be struggling, I think, quite early on in the race. If you're very conservative with your tyres, though, like Jorg showed certainly last season, you can try and make the softs work, I would say, around 8 or 9 laps before you decide to come into the pit lane and put on that set of mediums. So, whether or not we'll see drivers on that set of soft compound tyre towards the end of the session remains to be seen. But Jana, coming down in towards the right-hander of the final final two corners through 14 and 15. Yana on the run towards the line. Has looked quite a competitive lap this actually by the Finn. He goes 7th, goes ahead of Ramazan, of course, brand new driver for the ERT team. Secret DJ Gill though out on top. Bray there in second, who I've had the privilege of commentating on or seeing actually racing LOE, and Neymar there, the birthday boy, in third with 7 minutes gone in the session. A Simply Superman actually just tops the lot.
I was watching that lap there for the third sector, and it looked impressive. I was like, keeping an eye on his tabs there, and he will go P1. Again, in the pre-race show, or I would say prelims placement show, that's what I'm looking for. It was different P words there. Simply Superman was kind of a dark horse favorite, kind of was there in like the third or fourth contingency. You're like, if Yona and Yora kind of step over each other, we may see a Simply Superman reign. So he's currently P1, so Ferraris lock out the top two, then we got a Mercedes, and then we got an Alpine in fourth, but obviously with a good chunk of this field on mediums and now electing go on softs in the pit lane, I do see some times falling down here. And the question now is, will we see a driver break into the 125s? Personally, I think that answer is yes. But again, you never know in these situations. Maybe 126.1 is the best we'll get, but I put an X to doubt on that one.
I think you'll find probably around a second in terms of improvement from a set of mediums to a set of softs. So we're talking about Jorg possibly going 26.8, and that will put him around Yona sort of area. But Yona's lap time, he's 4 tenths quicker than Break FN. In fact, he's 4.5 tenths quicker than Break FN. Ahmadi, by the way, is on a good lap here. He comes towards the line and finds an improvement. He goes up to 14th ahead of Jorg, so goes ahead of him into 14th position on 3 lap all mediums, and clearly wants to try and get a little bit of running in to those tyres. But Simply Superman, the Irishman, out on top. DJ Gill there in second, Bray in third. Drivers are coming out now for their second runs, and more importantly, of course, Yona now my favourite for TTML F2 Championship this season. No pressure, Yona, 26.9. Second improvement, he'll go probably high 125s here.
I think so as well. We'll see what he can do here. Obviously, he's on a set of softs, and he's about to start his outlap. He's in sector third right now. Also, Secret Dangle, I think it has just started to run as well, so keep an eye on the other Ferrari as well, on another fresh set soft tires here. And also Neymar as well. So yeah, we're going to see a couple drivers going around at the start, so it's good to see if in their second attempt here, they've already kind of learned the track out, kind of maybe took a little bit of a soft lap, and now we'll see how aggressive they can take, because it's not as bad of a corner-cutting paradise as other tracks are, but in that S section, it's very easy. If you step up just a little bit wrong, you could end up making a mistake here. As we see Dangle going through, the end of Sector 2 is coming up relatively shortly here, and actually a little bit farther down. My mistake. Got to remember the track lap. Good practice for F1. We'll see what Jangles can do here, and see what he can do with that Ferrari, and I think he'll be kind of a telltale sign of if there's more time to be found.
Yeah, he's 1100s up in the first sector. He's actually looked quite competitive coming through the middle sector as well. Now coming in towards turn 11, braking just after the 50-meter board, getting the car rotated in nicely. There was an improvement there, I think, from Ahmadi again. He's gone to 11th position now. 4 lap old mediums. DJ Gill, though, is a 10.5 up in the middle sector. He's purple out of everyone in this middle sector. Will he try and find the time, though, to beat his teammate? We'll have to wait and see. Yona as well is also on a lap. He's coming through the middle sector, I believe, but DJ Gill now coming through the right-hander of turn number 14, then through the kink of 15, and this is looking quick from DJ Gill as he now comes towards the line. Is he going to go ahead of Simply Superman? Yes, 26 flat. Good improvement there by DJ Gill, found another 10.5 in the final sector. Neymar, however, is 2.5 tenths up as he now comes to the line, and the birthday boy goes third. Good lap time there by Neymar. Jonas as well is on a lap 3 tenths up. Yona's coming through the middle sector. I think he's flying here actually through the middle sector. He's 8 tenths up. Yona is 8 tenths up already. This is already looking like Mexico-esque in terms of his lap time. Yona on the run down in towards turn 14 is looking significantly quicker, I think, than DJ Gill here. I don't think we're going to see many improvements in this part of the session, but Yona now through the final corner. Surely this is pole position for now. Yona to the line, 25.8, and that is why he puts an assertion on the rest of the field, and he puts the rest of the field on notice. Yona out on top, DJ Gill second, Jonas there going third as well.
Get the fire extinguisher out right now. That is a hot lap, and it puts the rest of the field on notice. And I can see why you keep saying he's your championship prediction going into the season, because that lap just kind of shows that he's here to play. Now we got Tibbles on the run. He'll go P5 on his run. Just behind him is an Alfa Romeo of it's not Yanni, it's Ahmadi. He's coming in the pit lane zone. And then we got the Alpha Tari of I think it's Ray Meter. It is, and he'll go P6 with a 126.371. So improvements all across the board here. We do have Simply Superman. He's on an outlap. He is currently in the second sector just behind Neymar. And just seeing if anyone else is on a run here close to the line.
Husby.
We do got the... Husby is, you are correct, so we'll see what Husby can do. Gotta find him on the list. There we go. He's gonna come down the Williams, down the DRS, open it up. It's gonna probably be a 126.723. That will be P9 for the Williams driver. And we do got, I think, yep, outlaps for Mercedes as well. So yeah, middle mixed bag. You can see a big conga line coming down the straight here. Mixture of drivers pulling in and starting the runs here. So we'll see if anyone else can throw something down here. I think, yeah, Nathan Clark on a run here as well. I'll finish up here on him. It's gonna be a quick run. It's gonna be P2. I just want to say, your prediction said Yona's going to be champion, and I remember saying in the preliminary show that Clark was someone to watch out for. And right now, he's proved my point correct, just barely being off Yona in P2.
Everyone should go and listen to the placement show, I think. Yona Rad on top, Nathan Clark in second, DJ Gill in third, 6 minutes to go left in the session, and Yona currently asserting himself. He's a 10th and 3/4 ahead of Nathan Clark. Very, very good, I've got to say, in terms of his lap time. I think he can probably go mid-125s if he really pushes on a lap time. Noisy, by the way, was on a lap. I think he hasn't invalidated, but he's made a mistake, I think, coming out of turn 8. He has now backed off his lap. York, by the way, defending champion, 8th position, and it's not as if he's too far off Yona. He is. He's 5.5 tenths off Yona, and for a championship leader, if you want to try and defend your crown, you've got to be quicker than everyone else around you, and York at the minute, a little way short of his best, I think, so far.
We've seen it in not as much in racing as it looks like it's a cool down lap for York here, but we've seen it in not as much in racing in F1 in recent years as we've seen in other sports. There's always that championship hangover. You win the championship, you celebrate the glory, and then you're like, where do we go from now? It's hard to repeat as a champion, even in, like, excluding Vettel and Hamilton and Schumacher as well. F1 may not be the best example. In other racing series, it's a bit harder to repeat because you got that monkey in your back, like, can I do it again? What can I change? And new dynamic, new something.
Ooh.
And they throw you off as Simply Superman.
Wow.
Goes P1. I saw his first sector. He was down his times, so I didn't really make a note of it. So I guess he found a lot of time in either the second or third sector, and I guess he just put Yona on notice. Yona on notice. So we're gonna see. You probably also put Yorg on notice as well, as Ivanti's been disqualified from blocking the pit lane.
That's a pit lane. That's pit lane exit, I think. It's certainly not pit lane entry, as Bray went 6th. I was right on board with him. Imadi, though, disqualified. I wonder if he's tried to do... I don't know. Has he tried to do a practice start or something? Or if he's came out the pit lane, is there a pit lane glitch perhaps around here? Imadi, though, disqualified from the session. And of course, former competitive driver in TTML F1, not the start of the season you'd be hoping for with 4 minutes to go, as Yana has retired from the session, and that's in the pit lane.
Yeah, he is in the pit lane as well. Yeah, both Alfa Romeos have both called it a day here, so bit of an odd strategy from the Alfa Romeo boys, but things happen and things change. We do got Excel coming through about at the end of Sector 2 and one more straightaway to go. He's on a run here. We're going to see Tom as well coming to last sector, but I think he's on a cooldown run. Yes, he is. We got the Haas. He's actually on a push lap here, and he's 8 tenths up right now in 17th. That will put him right around the 126 bracket. Not probably only around P13, P12. But if you can find some good time down here in the last corner, maybe you can jump up a little bit higher here. Remember, top 10 stay on their tire choice, and then 11 on down, switch tires, unlike in next year's game where that will change.
Oh.
But it looks like the Haas is pulling in here. So, gonna kind of abandon that lap here. Look good, at least improve, but I guess maybe it doesn't feel like that was a good enough lap. Maybe want one more lap on a set of soft tires, knowing that if he took that lap, it was highly unlikely he was going to get around again to take another one.
Yeah, I think, honestly, he probably wants a little bit of tow. If he runs in behind the driver around 2 or 3 seconds behind somebody around this track, and they're quicker than you, you're going to get a slipstream. Break FM, by the way, is going to do this alone. He is now coming down the start-finish straight down in towards turn number 1. 27.3 from the Brit so far. I expect him to go around P7, I think, with this lap. That would be a fair estimation, I think, in Break FN's performance, as now comes through turn 3, and then up the run, of course, up the hill. It's very difficult, of course, with the camber on this game, but it is up a hill, down and towards turn number 4. As we now see Break FN coming to the first sector. This first sector is actually not looking too bad. 27.8 through the first sector is exactly where you want to be on a lap time so far. He's 2 tenths up already, as now comes through in towards turn 8. Of course, Lance Stroll was hanging like a cow. Imadi apparently was trying to get out the way of somebody on a fast lap, so I think he's probably got traffic coming out the pit lane as well, and that is why he's picked up a disqualification, which is unfortunate, but just comes to show how ruthless the game can be. Break FN on the run down in towards turn 11 though. He's looking good on this lap, I've got to say. It's looked neat and crisp. I wouldn't say it's quick, but Break FN coming through the middle sector as there's a spinner through the middle sector.
I was watching DJ Gill's run there. DJ Gill was coming off that corner there right near the end of Sector 2, and the car just went left and then it went right, and he saved it, but killed his lap, so he's going to have to back down to go for a second run there. But I was watching the Ferrari. It was on ice skates there, and he was just wrangling that car to make it work. But looking for the rest of the field, everyone is on outlaps here. They're pushing. We'll cut back to Break FN on the straight here.
He's backed
slowing
off.
Down.
He's backed off right at the line.
He was not feeling confident that lap. I don't know. He was a second up, so kind of odd there.
DJ Gill just getting out of the way. Baby. Yeah, DJ Gill just getting out of the way. Frankie there as well. And Frankie Fro now on a lap. FER Frankie, of course, now. He runs to the line. And he goes 7th. So exactly where I was expecting Break FN to be. His other McLaren teammate has now gone 7th. Frankie there 7th. Yona, by the way, is on a lap. Oh, wow, he's a 10th up in the first sector alone. He is purple in this first sector. This has got to be an electric lap now from Yona. Simply Superman is out on top. At the minute, though, Yona is already beating him through the first sector. If we were to end it now, Yona will probably be out on top. But now Yona on the run in towards turn number 11. This is looking quick from the man who finished runner-up, of course, to Jorg. Jorg, by the way, is down in 10th position in terms of the standings so far in qualifying. Yona through the middle sector. This is quick from Yona, and he's 2/10 up through the middle sector. Not purple, but he is up in the middle sector, and Yona flying on this lap. He has got a Ferrari going slow just in front. DJ Gill, I should say, has retired coming into the pit lane, I think, as now Yona comes out of the final corner, takes the esports line coming through 14 and 15, and now onto the line. Shuley again, this is provisional pole. Yona to the line, 25.5, and that is going to take a world of beating. That final sector was great, and Yona out on top. Simply Superman in second, Nathan Clark in third. I'm trying to be really hard not to be biased, but I like that lap.
I think you did as well. On that point, one thing, though, was worth noting up the road there. Simply Superman was behind Tom there, and I think he was getting a little bit of a tow, because remember, Yona went out, clear track. No one in front of him, but Simply Superman backed down, let the car head. Now he's backing down completely, so Simply Superman has called it a lap, so no improvement for him. He's made a slight mistake there, and it will be done, so all that towsmanship has been for nothing. So we're going to see who else is coming around the line here. We do got Neymar Gaming. He's going to run P11. He was P5 about 6 minutes ago. Oh, how the times have changed, and it's going to be P5 again for the birthday boy. He'll be P5. Behind them is another Alpine, I believe, but he's invalidated. Sorry, it's a Williams of Husky. He is invalidated on his run. Neymar, NSR Ray is also coming to the pit lane, so he is done. We do have the Haas of Noisy as well on the line here. And I was going to say the Haas went P7 in the neck. Noisy up next. It's going to be P10 for him. And the rest of the field is coming. Here comes York, defending champion, but he is really slow, and that will be no improvement. So defending champion is not going to go any higher than 13th. We do got the Mercedes of Tom as well. Sorry, the other Mercedes of Excel. Then here comes Tom. I think Nathan Clark's about to cross the line. We'll see if he can go any higher. It's going to be only P3 for him, but it is an improvement. Can Tom jump up there? Last of the drivers here. Only going to be P14. So I think that's it for qualifying. I don't think anyone else will jump up there. Jonas pits in. So that's that. We are done, and Yona comes out on top. Simply Superman tried to steal from the depths, but one mistake ended up costing him, and Yona showing why maybe clean track is beneficial.
If we had a face cam on me right now, I've got a very smug look on my face. Yona out on top, Simply Superman in second, Nathan Clark in third. And that is exactly the sort of statement I predicted Yona last race of the season, last season, to be champion. He is the all-round package, I think. And that lap just proves to show it. 2/10 quicker than Simply Superman, ex-TTML F1 driver. 2.5 tenths quicker than Nathan Clark. Of course, he was up there in terms of qualifying last season. DJ Gill, who was a brand new driver to F2 as well. Yona has already trounced them early on in the session, and Bahrain is normally quite close for qualifying. Not for Yona, it's not. 2/10 quicker than everyone else in the field, and it is Yona out on top from Simply Superman in second. The Haas of Nathan Clark, couldn't get my words out there, Nathan Clark's in third, DJ Gill there in fourth for Dane, Neymar, the birthday boy, in fifth, he's only 4.5 tenths off pole, Bray there in sixth, the Maltese, as now Jonas in seventh, Houston in eighth, Frankie Fro in ninth, and Noisy running off the top 10, and he's actually out-qualified Jorg, which is quite strange to see. Tibos in 11th, Ray Meter in 12th, Jorg, defending champion, 13th. 13th. His races are normally better than his qualifying, but Jorg, 13th position, got an awful long way to go if he was to get up towards the top 10. Tom in 14th, Yana, Husby, Break FN, Ramazan and Ahmadi fill out the 19 drivers. Of course, Ahmadi starting right from the back of the field. But first to last difference, I think around 1.5 seconds there in terms of pole position. Fantastic stuff from everyone. But Jona, out on top, already asserting himself as a leading contender.
Remember, though, season's not written in one race. We do have 13 rounds here today. It starts in Bahrain, ends in Brazil. Weirdly enough, it's just weirdly enough the scheduling place, but I'll bring that up a little bit later down the road in F1. But the thing is worth noting is that it's a long season here, and drivers get rubbered in, and maybe someone comes in like Jona last season and comes in and makes a statement, or maybe Jona has an instance where he can't finish the rest of the season. So the championship is not written in one race, and we'll have to wait and see. And also, side note for the viewers at home, if you every time James says that he had Jona as a prediction for the preseason champion, take a shot of your favorite beverage and watch the memories flow in, because at this point you're going to be taking a lot of sips of your favorite beverage for the amount of times I think James is going to say this season that Jona was a preseason pick, which, hey, at least it was a right pick, so we'll see if it holds water.
To be fair, though, Nathan Clark in third, your pick, not doing too bad either, I think, in terms of qualifying, but qualifying's one thing, the race is a totally different thing. 29 laps awaiting the drivers out on track. We are now on the formation app, and let's have a look at see what tyres everyone is on. No surprise looking at the strategies. Top 10, of course, qualifying on that set of soft compound tyres, so they're starting slightly worn tyres compared to the rest of the field. Everyone else, though, down on a set of medium compound tyres. Normally, I would expect 1 or 2 to go for a set of hards, if, of course, it is going to be softs, lap 20, 21, but everyone's seeming to go middle of the road, it seems, which is not bad. But Jona out on top, Simply Superman in second, Nathan Clark in third. Top 10, of course, on that sort of soft compound tyre, they're probably going to go off quite quick, I think.
Oh, they are. Fall's going to be quick around here, and it will definitely be one to watch out for. Some more conservative, others are not. We may see them come in around 7 to 9 laps and come into pit. Well, we'll see the drivers in the outskirts there with their fresh choice, all going mediums, going a little bit longer here. So maybe that's where Jorg gets his advantage. Again, we know he's Mr. Consistent. Safety car comes out early in this race, maybe around 5 or 6. We see drivers pitting in, and maybe that benefits Jorg, maybe Tom and the rest of the field. Maybe it hurts them. How the strategies work, as I've said multiple times in this game, I'm always a driver that rather start on the soft tires and the mediums, because if a safety car comes out early, it feels like it's a detriment to you. But sometimes drivers do well under that pressure and make it work. So again, time will only tell right now, but definitely a mixed bag when it comes to strategies.
Yeah, definitely so, and obviously qualifying is different to the race. Qualifying based on 1 lap pace, race more tactical, more based on strategy. Strategy, I would imagine, if I was a betting man, I'd probably say the front guys will probably pit in from around lap 5, lap 6 onwards to go on to a set of mediums, and if you've got a very, very coy driving style, and by coy I say really, really neat driving style, you're going to make them a set of mediums 21, 22 laps, I think, to the end of the race. I've seen it done before in the IFL Esports Cup event, which I covered last week around here in Bahrain. Set of mediums, they're probably going to be going middle of the road, possibly to around, if drivers can make it, possibly to around lap 18 before they go in on a set of soft compound tyre. We are missing 1 driver, by the way. I'm not sure who we are missing, but there is 19 drivers here tonight. I think it's the scheduled attendance. Pepsi, I'm going to come across to you, though. Who on earth, for the first time this season, is your top 3?
Let's go. We'll go conservative here because it's early. We'll go Jona. We'll just do Jona, Simply Superman, Nathan Clark. 1, 2, 3, finish 1, 2, 3. We'll go for a very safe prediction.
Very safe prediction. Wow. Jona out on top, though. Simply Superman alongside him. And now, for the first time in Season 7, the 5 red lights are going to be on here in TTML F2. And we're better go racing. And it is lights and away we go, and Jona gets a very good start. Simply Superman bogs down off the start, and he's going to be under pressure from Nathan Clark, who actually has got the better run down in towards turn 1, and could he sweep around the outside of Jona in towards turn 1 as well? Jona holds the inside line. Nathan Clark, though, goes waltzing around the outside line. Can he get the job done? The Haas is on the inside line, now for 3, and Simply Superman will follow in behind as well. There's been contact further down the field. Everyone's split apart from 5th downwards, and now Jona and Nathan Clark go side by side in towards turn 4. The Aston Martin and the Haas. The Haas gets the better traction. position, and they're still side by side as we now come through, and there's contact between them both. Nathan Clark forced off the track, and Yona now leads. Simply Superman second, DJ Gill in third. Contact though early on, going side by side and towards 6 and 7 really does not work. Somebody had to back out. It was Nathan Clark. There was contact up and down the field. Nathan Clark, though, down into 9th, rejoins in that position. Jorg is ahead of him as well. Husby has dropped down a position. Noisy, by the way, is getting 4 positions off the start. He's gone up to 6th position. Yona though leads the way. Simply Superman in second, DJ Gill in third. And when the elbows were out, Yona got the elbows out. Bit of contact, but somebody had to back out.
It was someone had to back out. I don't think Nathan Clark 100% wanted to back out. It was just the road ran out, and Yona had the line for the corner. So it was just a simple situation where Nathan Clark just had nowhere to go. And luckily, no damage for him, but a bit of a bruised ego on his pride. But if push comes to shove down the road here, I think maybe if he's back up there on 23, 24, I think no love lost between the two of them there. And we'll see what can happen up at the front here. But anyway, Yona still leads the way here. Going to have to put my interval time on. That will probably be a little bit more helpful to find out what's going on here. We got Jonas got a little bit of a toe on DJ Guild right up, not to really make anything happen. We do got Ramen and Ray battling in the back here. I think up the road we do have a little bit of an argy-bargy between Brake and Yana. We'll see if Brake can hold on as D gets the first penalty of the race for speeding in the pit lane. The McLaren going to try to make the move on the Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo going to have the inside line for the corner here, but the McLaren going to get the better traction, and Brake FN trying to clear the Alfa Romeo. Can he outbrake the McLaren going to this corner? Ooh, it's almost going to be the case here, similar to what happened Yona Clark, but Brake going to close the door there, and Brake going to keep 11th here. And now, Gianni under pressure from the Haas driver, and the Haas going to make it as well. So 2 for 1 there. Or I guess a 2 for 1 loss by Yanni.
And Yana nearly tried to go around the outside of him as well. Now Bray is through and he's into 13. So Bray now through and he's into 13. He's dropped down quite a few positions off the start. There must have been contact further down the field. The likes of Tom, D, Husby, all into the pit lane. There must have been some sort of Constantino effect down in towards turn 1, which probably caused a bit of front wing damage for a few of the drivers. And look at the split it's caused as well. 10th downwards. Brake FN, he's 1.5 seconds just over that off Jorg. Yona, though, leading the way, and he set a purple middle sector, 1.1 seconds clear of Simply Superman. And race pace, when it comes to race pace, Yona is quicker than Simply Superman. Obviously doing a good job in the Ferrari, but he needs to try and latch onto the back and needs to try and use up a bit of deployment as well. He has got more ERS slightly than Yona at this point, and now needs to try and capitalise on that, as the DRS, of course, will be enabled. Running down in towards turn 11, I think is the first time it comes on here. There's Noisy again on the back of Neymar. He's not closing up to the birthday boy there in 5th position. Noisy there in 6th. Bray is going to get quite close, I think, probably further down the field to Nick Houston, and Nick Houston there in P12. Bray in P13, they say as they are. Remida is going down the inside of Ramazan. Doesn't get the move done, and Nathan Clark is actually going to launch an attack on Frankie. They're side by side in towards turn number 4, and Nathan Clark, is he going to waltz around the outside here on the McLaren? Possibly not.
Nope.
Frankie falls through.
Yep. Yeah, Frankie had the better line there, and it just kind of closed the door again. So I think Clark maybe had shades of what happened lap 1 and was like, let's not do this again. So I think Frankie did get the better launch, but they were still by side. I think Clark may have decided to pull out of that one and keep it safe. But remember, this is a bit of a DRS track here, so if you can stay within the toe, it helps you out pretty great. And if you can break it, it helps you out nicely, as Neymar has kind of lost touch to Jonas. So again, Yona kind of in a bit of a league of his own right now. Then you got Simple Superman, DJ Gill, and Jonas 3, 4, 5 in their own little train. Then you got Neymar, Noisy, Frankie, Clark, and Tibus in their own little train along with Jorg. And then break on down to Ramin in their own train. So all a little bit of different trains here forming on lap 3. And when you get one, it's kind of hard to make a pass unless someone decides to go a little bit aggressive on the brakes, or has a very overall pace difference to make something happen. So we'll see if anyone is a little bit daring on the brakes to make something happen. But starting lap 4 right now, I don't realize we may see Nick make a move on brake here for the lead of that 3rd train right now. So we'll see if the Haas driver can make a move on the McLaren.
DJ Gale as well on the back of Simply Superman. I'm not sure what happened there with Simply Superman. Noisy, by the way, they're going to try and launch one on Neymar. Doesn't get the move done, and yeah, you're right, Nick Houston does make the move done. There's also action further down the field. Romita is through on Ramazan, and he's into 15th on the Turk. So good drive there so far from the Norwegian, stepping up, of course, from F4 last season. Ramazan, in fact, has gone and dropped it by himself, coming out of turn 2, and he's used the reset to track. Somebody is going to be getting a slap from the stewards, I think, there, as Ramazan opens up his DRS. He uses that reset to track to game him, or limited time. unfortunately for him, I saw that. Yona out on top, Simply Superman in second, DJ Gill in third, Jonathan fourth, and yeah, you're right, Pepsi, I think the gap between fourth and fifth really beginning to expand out. It's almost as if Neymar is just overextending his tyres slightly, and he's overheating them at points of the track where he really doesn't want to, and he's got noisy Frankie Fro and Nathan Clark right on the back of him in a train. Matt Tibos and Jorg are not out of that either, and they're just latching onto the back on that set of mediums, of course, so they're going to be latching on, and they're going to be the quicker drivers once everyone comes into the pit lane. But one thing to note was, last lap around, Simply Superman weaved coming out the final corner. I think he's struggling for tyre temps out on track, and the Ferrari in behind him, I think Simply Superman possibly come into the pit lane as soon as this lap.
Yeah, maybe he may go for the undercut. We know some drivers love going for the undercut. Neymar is one good example of said driver. And according to your predictions, my predictions as well, we may see kind of pit stops happening this time or next time.
Neymar.
Well, Neymar, I said he loves the undercut, and he is coming on lap 4 to 5. So he's going to be the first driver in here. So his predictions still show up nicely. I think he realized he was kind of the slowest in that next train. So he's like, why not get off sequence here, maybe see if I can make something happen here, and maybe catch the next train, as we see Brake and Nick battling here for 10th here. Brake gonna get the spot back. Oh, tries to close the door on the Haas driver. If they do touch Excel, maybe there to kick up the pieces. It looks like Brake and Nick are gonna be fighting left to right here. Robinson has left the session after speeding the pit lane. We're gonna have Excel on the inside, but not enough, so Brake gets 10th position, Nick down to 11th, and Excel in the 12th, as I think Amadi is also passed, and Tom and Vogt passes the stricken car Ramazan, so Ramazan in 19th. Obviously he's left the session, but yeah, a little bit of an argy-bargy battle there in that third train here, and Brake, now remember, it's on a set of medium, so he should be a little bit faster than both Nick and Excel, who both qualified on a set of soft tires.
Yeah, definitely so. Ramazan, I've got a question, by the way, coming into the pit lane there. It's the first race of the season, and he's left the session on lap 4. Don't think it bodes well for the rest of the season, I think. Yona, though, out on top, 2.1 seconds clear of Simply Superman, and the gap is extending out, and you can just see Simply Superman is struggling through that middle sector. It's bearing a high load on the tyres, and DJ Gill, right on the back of him, is pretty much going to be possibly passing him down in towards turn number 1. The Ferraris, of course, who launched that car, that 2022 car, of course, today. Is DJ Gill going to be close enough for the move? I think he's going to have to be forced into going for this move. He's now just using up a bit of deployment to the inside line on his teammate, and he's going to go through. DJ Gill down the inside line. Car 98 is through, and he's into second. There's a spinner at the final corner, and Ray Meter has gone into the wall. And that must have been a very slow crash, and it's a safety car. Safety car deployed. Nick Houston gets the move done on Brake FN just before that as well. But, Ray Meter's gone hard into the wall. Really hard into the wall. He spun, I think, at the final corner, and I have a feeling he's trying to recover out on track. He's got the car, I think, going again, but then it's just been one of them where it's been a very, very slow crash, and Ray Meter, obviously in the wall, has unfortunately caused a safety car, and it's not the first time, probably not the last time, I'll see that happen either.
Well, this is a good example of Ramazan. He left on lap 4. 2 laps later, safety car would have got him back in this race, and now he's now out of it, so it's a little bit of a kick in the teeth moment, but this is going to allow Imadi, Husby, and Tom to get back in this fight. And it's also going to allow the top Simply Superman, DJ Guild, and Jonas as well to catch up along everyone else. So Yona feeling a little bit miffed by that safety car there. Had this kind of a good gap there, and now it's all going to get bunched back up again. And since this is in the pit stop window, it's probably going to favor the soft runners a little bit more than the mediums. But Neymar probably not too thrilled with the safety car coming out right at this moment, because he was hoping for that undercut, and he's going to be a little bit far back, and he'll probably get some of his spots back, but I don't know how many he will get. But at the very least, won't have to come in and pit. But one more thing I did want to say before obviously that safety car came out was I feel like Guild and Simply Superman had a kind of a team order situation there where it felt like, even though I don't know if they're communication or not, but Guild was a little bit faster, so maybe he was trying to tell Simply Superman, let me go, I can catch Yona, and if not, we may switch back. But who knows? That's just speculation. But top 7 all coming in 8. Now even the medium runners coming in as well. So everyone is taking a break from pit lane.
Everyone's coming in. Ray Meter's left the session. Brake FN's got a 5-second penalty for spinning in the pits. And both Ferraris, of course, going to be backed up on one of each other as well. I'm not surprised, actually. Set of mediums are coming in, obviously. Set of medium runners, I should say, coming in for set of hards. Yona, though, on that set of mediums, 22 laps is not going to be too bad. We're now under the safety car, and the IFR event that I did around here on Friday, we didn't have a safety car, and drivers made it quite comfortably on 22 lap all mediums. So, Yona could be quite good, I think, in terms of his mediums, and he's obviously got to realise that the virtual Bert Marlander, he's just in front, and he now rejoins onto the back of the safety car. So DJ Gill there in second, Chonas there in third, Tom and Husby, Husby's doing, he's into 15th, and he's actually continued on, which is interesting. So Husby continues on, the TNR driver, in 15th position, in the Williams, the only man not to come into the pit lane. However, if you're the likes of Neymar, who came into the pit lane a lap before, you've actually lost a bit of time rather than gained.
Yep, he is down to 8th here. My question, I just want to say one thing. I should probably study the rulebook here. Don't want to be a little bit of a snitch. Can you go A under the safety car, if I'm not mistaken?
I don't think you can.
Okay, because I just saw someone on my screen right now doing that, so I don't want to say names, but...
Who was it?
I was going to say, it was... Alright, sorry, Simply Superman, but he was under AI as I was watching Neymar there, so we'll see if the stewards have a nice thing to say or not to him about that. But I was going to say, as I was kind of watching to say something about Simply Superman, is that he got passed right before the safety car came out, and it just shows that if he held that spot for one more corner, he'd be in second, but now he's down in 7th, buried behind a few other drivers because of the double stack. So, bit of a kick in the teeth moment, along with Neymar. So, both kind of misery has company, and both drivers are currently 7th and 8th, have to work their way through a gaggle of cars ahead of them.
Yeah, looking at AI mode, ruling about AI mode, the use of AI mode is not allowed during all sessions unless a valid reason is provided. So, just to reiterate on that, so I think Simply Superman then, because you saw it, I didn't see it, which might work in his favour, but now that it's been announced on the stream, he might get a penalty. Of course, he might be required as POV for that one. But Yona out on top, DJ Gill in second, Jonas in third. Top 3, interestingly, put it in for that sort of medium compound attire. I expect them to make it quite comfortably towards the end of the race, maybe with a puncture or two towards the end. Who knows what this race is going to throw up, though. Ramazan has been overtaken by Imad, and Imad, because the AI is not speeding up, Imad could be getting a 5-second penalty here for ignoring the yellow flag and getting a position in front of Ramazan. And I think that's what might happen, possibly. I'm just expecting it to come up on my screen any second. But no, he might have actually just been ahead of him. He's just slowed down the AI car, possibly. Which I think might have just been the case.
Yeah, maybe just the case as well, because if his AI, maybe because he's not here, maybe the game just throws kind of a bit of a pity on him on that situation. But they didn't allow Tom to go through, though, so you never know. We'll have to wait, because this game's kind of weird with its things. Even I want to say we're at 9 months in cycle. There's always some weird things that pop up, no matter how many times they play this game in question. But anyway, safety car should be coming in this time. By here, whole field is bunched up. Yona going to take the first safety car restart of the new season, unless there was a safety car in F3, so... He is going to kind of be the first of Season 7 here to get a taste of safety car glory here, and we'll see if he can keep his wits above him, or maybe he'll get swallowed up by DJ Gill or Jonas. Because remember, DJ Gill, new to the series, maybe not 100%, obviously he's played the same racing before, but maybe not 100% of the timing down with Yona and Jonas around him, so maybe that could come to a detriment of the Ferrari driver currently in second.
Well, looking at F3, there is a battle for second going on. Dylan McGivern's going around the outside of Yella Geeson. And Yella has possibly been overtaken here as Dylan tries to go around the outside. Doesn't. Safety car, though, is in this lap. I'm getting embroiled in that F3 battle going on. Mike, of course, and Cadwell taking you through that one. But Yona out on top, DJ Gill second, Jonas in third. And now Yona underneath the safety car. He's the virtual Bert Marlander. Now he's the virtual safety car. He can control the pace until his heart desires. But, of course, he's got to keep it at a consistent pace, which I think is exactly what he's doing at around 60 mile an hour on average underneath the safety car restart. I think he'll go just before the final corner and then really open up the taps to try and catch the hard runners certainly going. Ramazan, I believe, has just rejoined the session, if I'm not mistaken, or somebody has just rejoined. Yona, though, needed to lose out in the final corner, and now on the run towards the line, Yona leads going on to lap 9. So Yona now leads, DJ Gill in second, Jonas in third. Further down the field, good restart by Neymar. Jorg as well, side by side actually with Tibos, and he's going to go through on the hard runner. So Jorg is through, and he's into 9th position, and I think it's going to be the only move possibly underneath the safety car restart is actually Yana forces the inside line on Bray. The Maltese man has to try and get the job done and holds on to the position for now as his poo run out of turn 2 and now out of turn 3 on. There's contact actually from Nick Houston and behind who's trying to force the issue. They're getting caught on each other slightly and the Finn has to hold the inside line. Nick Houston though on the outside line tries to go all the way around the outside, and to be fair he's just got to round the outside with Yana, nearly losing control of the car. That is move of the season so far. Nick Houston through and he's into 13th, and that, albeit how a little bit reckless abandon it was with them catching on each other, Nick Houston gone around the outside of Yana, perfect move, he's into 13th.
Yeah, that was a pretty good move as well. I was watching Clark there for a second, but I had to cut back, make sure we watched that battle, because that was a pretty good one. But yeah, Clark got around Franchi for 5th, so that is worth noting. But yeah, right now, Yona already broke a second away from DJ Guild, and it looks like Nosy just a little bit of second behind Jonas. Obviously, DRS will open it 2 more times, so there's time to close that gap and get a little bit closer. But maybe shades of the restart again here. We'll have to wait and see. You got Nathan Clark kind of caught the back of Nosy as well, so Clark going on a bit of a revenge story here. Maybe going to make a move on Noisy. We'll see if he gets a good toe here off the straight here. 3/10, that's within reasonable distance. We'll see if he gets a good toe. Noisy is on a set of hards. Yeah, mediums hards right now. Going to make a quick work of that as the Haas driver is going to pass the Red Bull driver. Only thing really the Red Bull driver can do is try to outbrake him, but won't even do that. Haas driver gets a spot, and he'll be up in the 4th position. And Hardware is a little bit struggling right now, but maybe the cars will come around as the mediums start to wear it for it, and the hards will be a little bit stronger by the end. So Noisy, Frenchie, and Simply Superman playing the long game here, even though they'll be under pressure from all their compadres around them.
Yeah, DJ Gill, by the way, I think he's used a bit of deployment through the first sector. It's purple out of everyone in the first sector, and he had to realise that obviously Yona was getting away from him. I still think on pace Yona was going to get away from him, but it's 8/10 the gap, and the Ferrari trying to hang on in there on the Aston Martin. And of course, DRS to enable next lap around. Ray Meader, by the way, in the comments section, saying exactly what I said I thought happened in commentary, did happen in commentary. His rear wheel went off at around 1 mile an hour, which is... Ooh. As I said, probably the slowest crash I think we've ever had on an F1 game. Ahmadi, by the way, further down the field on the back of Husby. Husby doing a good job there in 15th. Ahmadi in 16th. Can the Alfa Romeo get the move done? No, we're 10 behind for now. Top 3, though, interestingly, Pepsi. Nathan Clark now free of clear air. He's on quicker tyres than Jonas, TJ Gill, and Yona ahead, but he's now going to try and rely on his pace alone. And I think with Jonas being in the DRS train in front with DJ Gill, and DJ Gill nearly being on the back of Yona, Nathan Clark's going to have his work cut out.
Yeah, he's going to be probably the leader of that next train, but the thing is he's got just enough distance on Noisy that he's kind of in a world of his own, like I said, is he's just too far back to get by the coattails of Jonas unless DJ Gill starts to drop like a stone. And Noisy is just within touch range. If he can kind of stay ahead of that train, he'll be kind of just a 4th. He won't be just a 4th. And he needs to take advantage of those mediums now, because once those hards start to hit, he'll be a sitting duck. So it's maybe a good thing he's that far distance away. But it's probably better to be in the middle of no man's land rather than be in a train where you got a lot of pokey people from 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, all the way to 13th. 12th with Nick, all in that little bit of a train, though, so a little bit of an arch move as laps kick down. We're going to see drivers maybe try to make moves where they shouldn't be making moves. As Neymar on the back of Superman, he's on those mediums where pit before the safety car came out and needs to take advantage of the situation, so we may see a pass happen here. Not probably yet, but definitely Neymar fainting that he may be making a move sooner rather than later.
I have a feeling, honestly, they'll probably just wait in behind, give each other the DRS train, and then hope that Noisy is going to fall off the cliff, because Noisy is struggling on that set of hards. Frankie, Simply Superman, Neymar on a set of mediums. I think maybe let the medium runner go. He's there in 8th position. He's significantly quicker, and I mean, look at that. He's right on the back of Simply Superman coming through turn 12, now through 13. And again, he just gets a little bit squirrely coming out the right-hander of turn 13. But look at the gap ahead. Yona has gained a second. The last lap around, Yona leads by 2 seconds now on DJ Gill. And DJ Gill is going to come under pressure from his fellow Norwegian, of course. And that is Jonas in front of him, or fellow Scandinavian, I should say. As Frankie now is going to attack on Noisy. And I don't think he's going to be making any noise with this move. Frankie throws through and he's into 5th. And Simply Superman tries to launch it down the inside line. Going to get the move done, though. And now Noisy has now lost the position to Frankie. So Frankie through and he's into 5th. Noisy there in 6th. Jonas right on the back again of DJ Gill. Both of them are going to be battling out. But Yona is just idling away out in front. It's 2 seconds the gap. Nick Houston is now through and break a fend further down the field. That's down in towards turn 4. Gets the job done on the inside line. So he's into 11, the Dutchman. Yona, though, leading the way. The other Dutchman is flying out in front. And it's almost as if he's not even going out of second gear.
Yeah, he is just kind of flying away there on no, and he is just pushing it and pushing it down. But yeah, I mean, right now, again, we'll see if Frenchie, you know, he'd be the leader of the pack. Maybe he can get a little bit of distance. Knowing Daytona's this weekend, it kind of reminds me when like there's a 2-car breakaway and one car leads the train. If the car is slow or got damaged, it may end up backing up the whole train. So maybe with Frenchie leading the train here, maybe he can try to reel him a little bit closer to Nathan Clark. But that is a Herculean gap right now. That's actually a bigger gap from Frankie to Clark than it is from GJ Gill to Yona. So something worth noting at the very least. But again, the longer I sit behind, the more antsy some of these drivers may get. So we'll have to wait and see if anyone is a little bit bearing on the brakes here. But also, Jonas has caught the back of DJ Guild, and he has slowly reeled them in by maybe a 10th a lap. So definitely someone else to watch out for as well with that Williams and see if maybe he can make something happen. Not going to probably happen this time by, a little bit too far back. But definitely something to keep an eye on for a little bit down the road. And we'll see. I think Super Superman going to try to make a move on Noisy. Definitely going to make him. We also got Nick making a move on Tibos here. Can the Ferrari driver? He's just going to go a little bit conservative on the brakes. And Noisy will hold spot as Noisy almost runs to the back of Frankie. As it looks like, Neymar going to make a move on Super Superman.
Yeah, he is on the outside line. The Alpine now and the Ferrari going side by side, and now Jorge's getting involved in this as well. He's right on the back of these two, and Neymar going all the way around the outside of the Irishman. That runs off track slightly, but he has got the full car ahead, just about, and nearly chopped off the front wing there of Simply Superman. But Neymar through, the birthday boy. Maybe a year older, but he's certainly not a year wiser. He's doing a good job there in 7th position, and he's still there. 7th position. I think that came out wrong, by the way. He is a year wiser, and he's into 7th position on Simply Superman. Lovely move that. Jorg now on the back. Defending champion, of course, starting off his season currently in 9th position. In terms of position gains, by the way, Yona currently has not gained a position at all. Neither has Nick Houston, who has been making positions up and down the field. Zaki Tibos, that has made positions. Ramazan, by the way, has rejoined the session as well. Yona, though, leading the way. DJ Gill second, Jonathan third, and don't worry, Jamie, you haven't missed a lot since you've been away. We had a safety car on lap 7, I think it was, as Matt Tibos has gone off wide, coming through 13, and rejoined to the track safely. I think he's gone into a mistake coming through turn 12, perhaps.
Yeah, I think he made a slight mistake. Again, I told you that corner can always be a corner of death if you hit it wrong, and it may shoot you wide. Sometimes you may just get off with a little bit of a whimper. Other times you maybe end up in the tire barrier on the other side, and that is session done for you. But luckily, Tibos will live to fight another day here. But we're going to cut back up here, see if anyone's close to make anything happen. I think York could make... he's not going to make a move on Super Superman, but definitely was closing in there. But again, Noisy kind of being a little bit of a train here because Frankie is pulling away from Noisy, but not at a fast rate, but definitely enough that he may also break that 1 second toe away from Noisy. So,
here comes Noisy.
At your point. Oh, yeah. Sorry, that's Jorg possibly kicking out there. Yeah, Noisy's leading the track here. I was just going to say, yeah, Noisy really struggling on those hards there. Had to take it because he was kind of in a rock and hard play situation. Couldn't obviously go on another set of mediums, but definitely probably not a big fan of when that safety car did come out there, and it's definitely going to kind of rue it, and hopefully they come in for him at the very least. It's something that's just happened. I think it was Tibos and Excel?
No, Bray, yeah, Bray made a mistake coming out of turn number 6 and 7 through the left-hander of 7, and he must have got caught on the curb. He got forced out wide. Tibos trying to go all the way around the outside of him, and now he's going to try and have the run down in towards turn 12, down the old F2 pit straight, down in towards turn 11. Not going to get the move done. Bray in 12th, Tibos there in 13th. Armour D, though, I was good on board with him. He is battling hard with Husby, and he nearly spins the car, and Tom now switches to the outside line. No way he is going to get that one done around the outside, as Armour D just literally shut the door on him, and Armour D hopefully not going to be going for moves that it's going to force him and another driver possibly into contact. He's there in 16th position, and Tom right on the back of him. Yona, by the way, still holding the gap at 2 seconds. It's controlled, it's measured so far by Yona. DJ Gillen second, Jonathan third. Everything else I think is going to kick off possibly onto the final 4 or 5 laps of the race. Like the IFR event, though, I did around here, might come a little bit sooner than that. Tibos on the back of Bray, down in towards turn number 1, not quite close enough, and yet Simply Superman side by side now with Neymar to the inside line. The Ferrari against the Alpine, and do you know what? The Alpine might just hold it around the outside here. Simply Superman using the defensive line and using his deployment to good effect, and he holds the position and gets into 7th, but Neymar still fighting with this move. Jorg not entirely out of this either, as Neymar just runs into the back slightly, forces the issue though, gets the gap through turn 8, and now on the outside line he's not going to think about going around the outside into 9 and 10, is he? He is! Neymar all the way around the outside as Husby has spun coming through turn 8, and Neymar gets that move done. That is absolutely insane. A year older, a year wiser, and a year greater. Neymar through and he's into 7th, and Jorg's going to go around the outside of Simply Superman. He is through and he's into 8th, and that's even a better move than Neymar. Neymar through and he's into 7th. Who thought going around the outside of turn 9 and 10 was possible? Neymar didn't care. Gap was there, went for it, through and he's into 7th.
I think Super Superman was so awestruck what Neymar did that Jorg kind of just snuck on by when Super Superman was kind of caught napping there. So Super Superman going to fall down to 9th here at the very least here, and we'll try to get re-rubbered in again. Those mediums definitely struggle. Struggle a little bit worse for wear here. It looks like Neymar coming in here probably going to go soft to the end. So maybe seeing the writing on the wall. So definitely maybe not making many friends with Super Superman here, knowing that if you were going to pit that time by, why pass me and why fight like two dogs fighting over a steak? But it's regardless of point right now. So we got Jorg and Superman 7th, 8th, with Nick in 9th and Break in 10th. So a lot of just kind of sitting in track here and sitting in space. But yeah, a bit of a breakaway here. I'm just kind of looking at the rest of the field here. Yeah, Noisy is kind of broken away from Jorg in this pack here. So Noisy got a little bit of a cushion from 7th, 8th, and 9th with that little bit of fighting.
Yeah, definitely so. I think Noisy, obviously, with that little bit of fighting with Neymar coming into the pit lane, he's also gone onto a fresh set of medium compound tyres, which is quite interesting. He's down there in 18, clearly thinking that the tyres is not going to get to the end of the race. I'm not so sure. I think they might just get to the end of the race. Certainly the guys that haven't pitted in on that set of mediums, but it is going to be a fascinating race. The further, of course, that drivers extend, the more likely, of course, it is going to be set a soft compound tyre towards the end of the race if they do decide to pit in. Yona, though, leading the way. DJ Gill in 2nd, Jonas in 3rd. Nathan Clark, who I think has just made a mistake, actually, coming out of turn 12. Just missed that slightly, but he has lost a second to the back of Jonas there. So Nathan Clark wide coming through turn 11 and got, I think, caught on the outside curb into 12, and that is why, obviously, he's just lost a second to the back of Jonas. Mediums are struggling for him, but he's going to continue on at least another lap. Frankie there in 5th, Noisy in 6th, Jorg there in 7th, Simply Superman, Nick Houston, Break FN run off the top 10, then everyone else down the field spread out like a washing line, pretty much. Bray, Tibos, Yana, Tom, Amadi, Ramazan, who was in this race, by the way, he's in 16th position, keeping up with the gap as well. Husby and Neymar right down the back of the field for now. And Neymar, by the way, compared to Husby, who hasn't pitted in so far, apart from obviously on lap 1 or 2, Neymar has just gained 2 seconds nearly on the back of Husby.
Oh, yeah, he has gained well over 2 seconds on the back of Husby there. He's making those mediums fly there. One other thing I did kind of know here as I was watching the times, DJ Guild has not really lost that much time to Yona. It's been a consistent 2.2 for about the past 7-8 laps, so he's not making inroads, but he's running similar-ish times to Yona, but maybe that is Yona taking it slightly a little bit more conservative, saving his rubber. Maybe DJ Guild's going a little bit more aggressive. But it is kind of worth noting that kind of top 3 of all held station, Jonas has kind of gone up as much as 3/10 and has fallen back as much as 7/10. It's been kind of a yo-yo effect, up, down. But yeah, just kind of interesting to note up in the front there. We do got Super Superman in the back of Jorg here. Not really anything going to happen, but Super Superman keeping Jorg honest, they would say. And Jorg is slowly reeling in Noisy and Frenchie, but Jorg is also on those mediums that may hit a cliff sooner rather than later.
Yeah, definitely so. I'm shocked, by the way. Jonas has got 95% of ERS on the back of the Dane.
Wow.
And the Dane is going to be under pressure here because Jonas, again, closes up. But again, he's not going to go for the move. It's a bit cautious, like Cautious Storm, possibly in F4 tomorrow night. Simply Superman on the back of Jorg, however. Is he going to try and get this move done down and towards turn number 1? He changes his line as Tibos and Bray are side by side. Jonas and DJ Gill are side by side in towards turn 4, and actually the Williams is through, but he goes out wide coming through turn 4, but he has got the job done. So yeah, Jonas is through and he's into 2nd. Good run out, I think, of turn 3, secured that, and he's through, and he is into 2nd position. DJ Gill there in 3rd, also moves further down the field, as I say. Bray got the move done on Matt Tibos. Throoney's into 11. Tibos now down to 12. Looking, I've got to say, Tibos, so far so good this season. Obviously, it's only one race, but certainly looking like not a former shell of himself like he was last season, which is good to see. Yona, though, leading the way. And because of that battle, Pepsi, Yona's gapped them another 7/10 per second.
Yeah, it fell down to 3 at one point. Now it's 2.8, so I kind of wonder if DJ made a slight mistake as well. That battle wasn't too very hectic, so makes me wonder if DJ Guild kind of made a mistake, and that allowed Jonas a good exit. Maybe went a little wide, didn't get a good look at it, so cannot tell you exactly what happened, but wouldn't be shocked if that was the case here. But yeah, Jonas has 95% ERS. The question is, when will he start using that and cutting into that? Because it's now down to 80, but still well over the rest of the field. That probably the average is around the 50s and 40s bracket, as you got, I think it was Nick you were talking about with
Yeah.
Superman. If I had to take a guess, is because they were pretty close there. We also got Noisy caught back French here, so we may see a move here for 6th and 5th. Is Noisy gonna get a toe here? He's got more ERS, but now he's a little bit too far back. Well, he's getting enough toe. Let me eat my words here. One time I try to call it not, it's gonna happen, and Noisy is gonna go up to 5th.
Oh,
Frenchie
Nick
down
Houston.
6th. Nick Houston going to try to make a move on the Ferrari. Superman going to have the corner here, and he will hold station. So that Haas is getting a little antsy-bantsy, and he may make another move here up the inside.
He will.
Notice Jorg is just up enough, and it was a little bit of a pinch there. Superman not showing any love lost. Break sees he can make a move. No, he will not. Here comes Superman on the inside, but it's going to be a little bit too late to make something happen.
Yeah, really good stuff by Nick Houston, I've got to say. Simply Superman tried as he must, pretty much like Mazepin in F2 around here in Bahrain. Tried to go all the way on the right-hand side, as I think Frankie did make a mistake there, if I'm not mistaken. 5/10 now off the back of Noisy. He got sideways, I think, coming out of turn 8. But Nick Houston, right on the back of Jorg, and the Jorg, the defending champion, is going to be under pressure from a fellow countryman here. Nick there in 8th position. It was a good job, I've got to say. But, as I said, Simply Superman just drifting across to the right-hand side slightly. Nick had the run on the inside line. I think Simply Superman realised there was a little bit of contact, I think, involved in that as well. But Nick showing good pace, showing why he might be a leading contender possibly this season. He's into 8th position. Yona though leading the way. Jonas in 2nd. DJ Gill in 3rd. They continue on at least 4. Another lap on this set of mediums. Neymar, by the way, Yana has left the session further down the field. Yana at a 13th position has now, well, he hasn't retired, but he is out of the session as now Noisy's defending from Frankie. And Frankie on the outside line of Noisy, going to try and get the move done. Noisy's so deep on the brakes in towards turn 1, it's not going to be enough though, because the McLaren is going to waltz around, and actually they're fighting very hard indeed, both of them, and they're still side by side coming out of turn 3. Surely one of them has got to have to try and lift and coast, and Noisy is through and he's into 5th. Frankie tried to launch one again. Noisy back through and he's into 5th. The traction was there, the speed was there as well for Noisy to carry through. Ramazan has picked up a 3-second penalty. Yona still leads the way from Jonas and DJ Gill. Down the mid-pack though, from 5th downwards, it's getting quite hectic as Nick Houston now dives it down the inside of Jorg, gets the move done, down the inside line. Jorg though is going to be on the inside for 9 and 10, but we saw with Neymar going around the outside might just work. This time around it doesn't, and Jorg is back through and he's into 7th as a yellow flag, and it's Ramazan that is round once again.
Yeah, they are fighting hard there. So I think with Yanni rejoining here, it's going to cause the score time to glitch for a quick second here. It'll fix itself in a sector's time. But we got Noisy again, gets back around. Oh, sorry, he's already around Franchi. Franchi tried to make a pass, but Noisy keeps station. And I think in that corner, if I'm not mistaken, previous court lap, I think York may have a slight hit the Frenchie and almost inadvertently did not help his teammate there. But yeah, Noise leads the way. Do got Excel. I think Break has made a mistake. He's gone wide, and it's going to open the door for both him and Excel and Tibbles to sneak on by. So Break down to 12th. It could be under pressure from Tom if he's not careful. So he's going to have to get a move on up here. Back to the battle for 5th. Here we got Noisy. Frenchie's definitely lost touch them, so nothing really going to happen here. We got Nick and Sid the Superman. As I think Excel, timing the score is really messing me up here. So trying to kind of finish everything up here. Jorg, Jorg and Yanni fighting here. Yeah, Jorg pitting, sorry. Whole timing the scoring was coming in there. You got Jorg and Break pitting. Just bad timing there. But yeah, Jorg pitting for a set of softs. Break getting a fresh wing change. Probably also coming in for a set of softs. Yes, he is yellow fight sector 1.
Simply Superman.
That's Simply Superman.
Yep, round through turn 3. I think he's gone sideways on the outside curb, and that is why he's being caught out. And now the Irishman, who was fighting hard further down the field, now has to try and get those hards back up to temperature, and now he's going to have to fly. But Simply Superman, his struggles are coming back to him from Season 5, it seems. There in 12th position. Yona, 3.5 seconds clear of Chionis. Chionis is not breaking sweat really in second, but he's not gaining either. Chionis is slower than Yona, and Yona is looking just a comparative, well, to last season. He's going to take possibly the first race of the season here, leading the way. Jonas there in second, DJ Gill in third. They continue on for another few laps, Pepsi. They're probably going to go to the end.
I'd assume that's probably the case for their plan there to make it to the end here, because maybe not the Badlings helped him out, because remember, Dave Clark been in kind of his own world here, can save his rubber here, so I'd argue him or Jonas got probably the fresh tires with the biggest gap they have here. And then Jonas and Dangle, they were kind of in each other's dirty air for a good amount of time, so maybe have out of those top 4, they probably have the least freshest mediums, so they maybe had a little bit of struggle, but I feel like they'll make it. But if anyone has a risk to puncture in that top 4, it's going to be second and third respectively. So we'll have to wait and see if anything happens, but I doubt anyone will puncture and they'll all make it to the line in question. No problems. But on that, we do got Tibos passing Excel here, and it looks like Tibos is going to take 8th position away from the Mercedes driver, and it's going to bring Excel down to 9th. And we'll see if Excel can answer back here. It looks like it's a little bit too far back, and Tibos gets the better exit, so Tibos will firmly take P8. And we do got Frenchie in the back noise as well. Not really a pass situation coming up, but definitely Frenchie is still keeping Noisy honest.
Yeah, definitely so. Jamie, by the way, saying everyone's going to pit. Tom always side by side with Bray, backed off quite late there. Goodness me, I thought he was going to launch the move around the outside of 7, but he doesn't get the move done. Ramazan, by the way, is fighting with Neymar. There is a bit of lag induced, I think, maybe from Ramazan's end, and now Neymar sweeping underneath him. Really good battle this, and Neymar's not going to give way. On the outside, out through 6 and 7. He is a year wiser. My God, he's a year better. Neymar through, and he's into 14th position. He's on fresher tyres compared to Ramazan. Ramazan could have easily gave that up. He didn't. Both really good driving, I've got to say. I criticised Ramazan earlier on for not joining the session, not rejoining the session and leaving earlier on. He's there in 15th position, but my God, he put up a good fight there. Jorg now on the back of Ramazan, and the Turkish man is going to be under pressure from the Dutchman, and down the inside line goes Jorg, and doesn't get the move done. And unbelievably, Jorg, at this moment in time, P16 out on track as Ramazan nearly goes for a pit, and nearly goes for a spin. Jorg will be P16. Nathan Clark, though, interestingly, into the pit lane. Jonas, and DJ Gill, if I was in their shoes, I'd be continuing on to the end.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked Clark pitted because he was kind of in a world of his own. I figured he had better tire wear than the rest, but I guess that's what assumptions get you as he's pitting. Maybe he did not feel comfortable they make it. Maybe he thinks if a safety comes out, he can maybe get some time off from here. So I guess he's just playing the long haul game.
It's going to be 3 wide. It could be 3 wide down the straight here. Neymar, Ramazan, and Jorg. And Neymar goes so deep. Ramazan dives it down the inside line, and somehow the Turk is alongside Jorg. And it's 3 wide, and that was never, ever going to end well. And both Neymar and Ramazan gives the position up fair to him. Neymar, though, spun by Ramazan. He's got left side end plate damage. I'm pretty sure Neymar's got damage as well.
Yeah.
And 3 wide, coming out of turn 2 and 3. Just... yeah.
I think Nathan Clark looked at his mirrors, looked back, like it's one of those scenes where he looked in the mirror, like he adjusted it and looked back, and he's like, just taking a double check, like, are they 3 wide behind me? Because he was probably glad he came out just about a second ahead, because if not, he would have been in the thick of that things and really put a monkey wrench in his works. But P13 for him, we do got Break passing Hubsby as they're fighting here for the wooden spoon, as we'll see if who can take the spot here. Hubsby, I think, has the fastest lap, if I'm not mistaken, but Break going to get the spot, and it's going to be 17 for Break. Hubsby down to 18th, kind of a race for Hubsby, but at least he's on pace to finish, and will probably an 18-car finishing field, bearing something happening here. But further up the road, though, we do got Nick on the back of Frenchie here, but with DRS for Frenchie, highly unlikely anything will happen. We know Nick loves making great braking attempts here, and seeing if he can make a lunge here, not going to happen, and it looks like Frenchie going to hold station here, but I think Nick is going to make at least one lunge before this race is done on those mediums, but only time will tell. But I guess one question I will throw out is, hold that thought, is see if Nick makes something happen here.
On the outside line. 3-10-4, no, force that wide. Frankie held his line, to be fair. He's not going to go around the outside here, is he? Nick down the inside line! Oh, and he holds it in!
No, too aggressive. Very too aggressive there. I think he just should have waited. Maybe he figured the medium's going to fall off, but just way too aggressive there by Nick. But it is a learning experience. I don't know if he reset the track or not going to say if he did or didn't, but Nick, I already got in trouble once with snitching. I don't want to make it twice, but Nick could have been 12th right now, going to be with his teammate just barely ahead of him at the right position, but just way too aggressive. But one thought I did want to point out here is the top 3 do pit, because we saw Clark pit. Is there maybe a question marks for Jonas, and DJ Gill's tire wear?
No. I'm looking at Jonas' tire wear at the minute, and Jona, those mediums look really fresh, I've got to say. Jonas, bit of blistering on the front right. Is not looking too bad, and DJ Gill is not looking as bad as Jonas, so I think all 3 of them are fine. All 3 of them are fine, and it's like the event I did around here a couple of, it was last Friday I did around here. Set of mediums lasted 22, 23 laps. These guys are going to make 22, 23 laps. They're being really conservative on their tyres, and really conservative on their ERS, unless you're Jonas, who's got 15% of ERS running down the straight in towards turn 4. Jona has just been in the world of his own. Jonas and DJ Gill, they're 2nd and 3rd. Nathan Clark, by the way, getting through on his teammate down the inside and towards someone, gets the job done. Daniel, by the way, coming in the comment section saying Frankie didn't leave Nick any space. You could deceive that, to be honest, for an instant, because Nick looked like he used up the deployment And that is why he's probably tried to get alongside. The car was never going to be alongside. That's why the incident occurs, and it was because if he didn't use that deployment, he probably would have been behind him, and there wouldn't have been any contact.
I could argue that as well. I honestly think, though, I'll throw a point out there that it was also really a corner for only one car, though, so it's a situation where maybe space should have been left, but we saw it early in lap 1. It's kind of hard to keep one car space when it's two car space when it's only one car, so it was kind of a situation where nothing was really going to work, and either the attacker was going to end up going around, and that's usually the case, and that's what happened there. So both sides will have a case here, and I'd honestly throw the stewards probably going to call it racing incident, though. So, again, though, that's why I'm not a steward. We'll see what they do at the end of this race, but wouldn't be shocked if nothing is taken. But we do got a little bit of a train forming here as Excel. It's got a big train forming with Tibbles, Tom, I'm-A-D, and Silver Superman, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, all behind them. And Nathan Clark, honestly, the sauce, highly likely he'll catch them, but if he could fly, maybe he'll get them. But it still raises the question, why did Clark pit in a good 4th position when top 3 are probably going to make it, but unless we maybe burn more rubber than not, as I do think Ramazan is off there. He'll get it refired, but spins it again. If he doesn't get going soon, they could maybe trigger a VSC or something just because his car is just there, but I think we'll be okay at the very least. Yep, there goes the light, so we'll be fine. As Nick is now in the pits lane here, pitting for a set of softs, along with, who's the only one, sorry. So he'll be P15 at the very least.
I'm-A-D, I think, got overtaken by Tom through turn 2 as well. I just rolled on board with it slightly, and Tom was already through on I'm-A-D, so he's through and he's into 8th position. I'm-A-D there down in 9th. I think Tom launched it around the outside of turn 2. Basically, he was on the inside line for turn 2 and got the move done, forced out I'm-A-D out wide, and that's what we saw. So he's into 8th position. Good job from him. Yona, by the way, world of his own. 5 seconds clear of Jonas. Jonas now struggling possibly for a little bit of tyre wear. DJ Gill there in 3rd. These guys are going to make it to the end of the race. If they pick up a puncture, they can probably still continue on. Yes, they'll drop positions. Nathan Clark has gained another 2 seconds on Simply Superman. It's too little too late if I was in Nathan Clark's shoes, because unless there's all sorts of carnage up ahead of him, he's not going to be getting his P4 back.
No, he's probably not going to get his P4 back. And you never know. I've seen weird things happen as Robinson has left the session. That's just him in the pit lane going a bit slow there. So he came back, tried to give his best all, but at least he came back. Maybe he lagged out in lap 4. We don't know. But anyway, I'm-A-D, Simple Superman here. Could get a toe here. I'm-A-D here. Could make a lunge if he's aggressive here. Looks like I'm-A-D going very defensive here. Simple Superman to try to hang it around the outside, but nowhere to go.
Oh,
Tom there almost runs in the back of Tom. I'm-A-D makes a mistake there. It's going to probably allow the Haas driver to get to catch up right here and leave him a sitting duck. So at least David Clark will get 10th position. Here's I'm-A-D. It's all gone wrong for him here. He just golfs one spot and then lost the second one, and now going to be down to 11th. But luckily, long distance away from him and Yanni, though, so maybe I'm-A-D can Nathan Clark can lead I'm-A-D back to the promised land. Only time will tell on that one at the very least with his man laps left. But yeah, Simple Superman on the back here with Tom, and yeah, still getting Archie Barge here, but just kind of go back. Now I'm saying Yona, 6 seconds clear of Jonas, so if Jonas' tires weren't any concern, it's highly unlikely because he has opened up a huge gap on that Williams driver.
Jonas and TJ Gill are the two that are now struggling. The front lefts I'm looking at, and I'm probably thinking they're getting towards the end of their life, I think. York, by the way, is through in Yana. That was coming through turn 10. So good job there by Yogi soon. He's into 12. And another one, that forfeited a bigger position up the field. And now he's in P12. Pretty sure he was, 7th, 8th position, I think, when he came into the pit lane. Yona, though, leading the way. 6.5 seconds out on track. Jonas there in 2nd. DJ Gill in 3rd. DJ Gill, if he's got any intention of going for a move, I would make it now. Put Jonas under a bit of pressure. You've got more EOS than him. You've got more speed than him. Try and put him under sustainable pressure now to try and get that move done. Frankie Fro was going to do that. Little to the back of Noisy. Tries to lunge it down the inside line, fakes him into doing the move, and Simply Superman doesn't think twice about getting this move done. Down the inside line, in towards turn 1, doesn't get the move done, and Nathan Clark just waltzes through on the inside line. Yeah, there was a bit of contact in there, but Nathan Clark, to be honest, there was a half-sized gap to go up, and Nathan Clark has managed to do that. He's through, he's into 9th, could be through into 8th soon if he gets past Tom here.
Ooh, we'll see if he throws something here. How aggressive will he be, knowing that he needs to get as many points as he can to save, but he'll stay behind. But I think it's a situation where, like DJ Guild, he knows if I take the pass on lap 28, he's going to pass me on lap 29. So I think he's just waiting for the last lap there, but if you wait too long, if he makes a mistake coming off that last corner, he may have just shot himself in the foot and any chance of getting second position, though. So it's kind of a risk reward. He knows that if he waits to lap 29, he'll make something happen. As we do see a fight in the farther back here, I'm going to assume it's Nathan Clark here battling Tom, and it looks like Nathan Clark going to try to outbreak him, and he will. He'll be up to 8th position, and if he can get a good run, he could maybe go as high as 6th. If he makes his work, DJ Gill gets a 3 second. So any chance of him getting second position has just gone up in smoke. So maybe it's just time to back it down and ensure you can get 3rd.
He'll get a podium, I think, but he is dropping off and he's got a puncture. He's got a rear left puncture, so DJ Gill now possibly out of the podiums. He's going to have to continue on, though. Onto the final lap we go. Drama here in Bahrain. DJ Gill, left side puncture on the rear left. And DJ Gill now, he's not going to be getting 3rd position, I don't think, because Noisy and Frankie are fighting side by side. This is probably the battle for the podium. And now they probably don't realise it as Frankie and Noisy go side by side into turn 1, and Nathan Clark launch it, I think, on Tibos. DJ Gill just about gets out of the way in that as well. And Noisy is through, and he's into P3. There's all sorts of carnage coming through. DJ Gill getting out of the way again. Simply Superman and Tom have to take him on in action, pretty much like Skittles going through their turn 3. Yona leads the way. Jonas there in second. If Yona doesn't pick up a puncture, he is going to be winning the Bahrain Grand Prix, and he's going to take an early championship lead to do it as well.
Clark is about to get the 4th position here, so we said about 6 laps ago he's not going to get back to 4th position, and if he can get around Frenchie, he'll get 4th and maybe 3rd, because what happened was he made a 2-piece lunge on Jorg, I think it was someone else, if I'm not mistaken, and then he got on the back of Excel, and Excel went into the back of DJ Guild, and yeah, he's going to get 4th here, so great recovery by Nathan Clark. Hat tip to him as he will get 4th position here. But yeah, Jonas is praying to whatever Lord above that his tires didn't go, similar to DJ Gill, but I think he can limp it home here at the very least.
Here comes Yona around the final corner, and it has been an absolute domination drive from Yona to the line. My championship contender has already taken the first win here in Bahrain. Yona takes the win from Jonas now coming to the line in second. How he's managed to get his tyres to the end, I do not know. Noisy in the end is going to finish 3rd. Nathan Clark, if he had another lap, he would get him. Noisy to the line in 3rd. Nathan Clark in 4th in the end. Frankie, Tibos, Tom, Simply Superman, Jorg looking like he's going to jump maybe ahead of Simply Superman. He doesn't. He's in 9th. I'm indeed and Bray, by the way, we're side by side to the line. I'm indeed just about clawing ahead of Bray. He gets 10th from Bray in 11th. Yana in 12th. Neymar, what could have been from him? He pitted in. Probably the wrong decision on hindsight in 13th. Break FN to the line in 14th. Nick Houston is going to come across the line and jump ahead of Break FN because of penalties. DJ Gill managed in the end. He was 3rd going on to the final lap. He's ended up in 16th position at the end of the race. Husby now coming around the final corner, and he is running to the line to finish here in P17 with only 2 DNFs, 1 safety car caused by Ray Meters, 1 km/h collision with the wall. That is the Bahrain Grand Prix wrapped up, and taking the win, of course, as Yona Driver of the Day awarded by the in-game fans is Ahmed D. And Ahmed D, yeah, had a really good fight, I've got to say, further down the field. Maybe getting Driver of the Day to go with it as well. But that is the end of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Yona out on top and already asserting why he should be champion.
Yeah, definitely inserted his mark there on race 1, but like I said, long calendar season here, so we're not going to write the check just yet, hand the trophy off for 1 round, but definitely saying that I'm here and I'm making a case, as we just saw with Jorg finishing, I believe, I want to say 9th. So, bits of a poor performance from our championship defender here, but it is, again, only 1 round. Time to dig yourself out a hole. Maybe Yona misses the race too, so still a long way to play for, but great first step from Yona outside the blocks there. I do want to say one more thing, again, with Nathan Clark. Just great recovery drive by the end there. And honestly, I know you're probably going to go Yona for your driver day, but I kind of want to tip my hat to Nathan Clark. Just was up in the 4th, stayed in the 4th, pitted, and was able to get it back to 4th when it looked all hope was lost. So he would probably get my driver day at the very least.
Both of them, I think, deserve equal driver of the day, to be honest. Yeah, Nathan Clark, though, to be fair, he spun, he was in P12, and he's ended up P4 by the end. Yes, DJ Gill had a penalty. Yes, there was action up and down the field that happened in front of him. And I literally said, if there's action that happens in front of him, he's going to be possibly getting P4. And he did in the end. Yona out on top, Jonas in 2nd, Noisy in 3rd. Hopefully we'll get the top 3 in. Nathan Clark there in 4th, Frankie in 5th, Tibos in 6th, Tom, Simply Superman, Jorg, Namadi ran off the top 10, with Brain 11th, Yana in 12th, Neymar, Nick Houston, Break FN ran off the top 15, DJ Gill and Husby the finishers, Ramazan and Ray Meeder finishing DNFing out of the race. But hopefully we'll be able to get the top 3 in. Jonas has already joined the party, which is good to see. Hopefully we're going to be hanging on Tenderhook's Farrell race winner. Of course, that is Yona. But Pepsi...
Yona loves interviews, so he'll probably be coming in.
He loves interviews. He loves me as well. He loves me and loves my interviews, I've got to say. But yeah, I'm going to come across to you. Thoughts on what has been a fantastic first round of the season?
It was a fun round to watch here. Definitely a little bit of good argy-bargy battling throughout the whole field. Definitely fun to watch there, middle of the pack. And if it's any shades for the whole season here, I think we're going to have a fun season here with the front and even the mid-pack as well, where we may see some prizes and some good moments. And hopefully that's a good omen for Season 7 at TTML. So I think in F3 was also a pretty good race as well. So maybe that is just a kind of good omen for all the tiers that we make it some nice, fun, competitive battling to watch here at the very least.
Definitely so. And on that, we're going to go to the interviews, and we'll now start off, of course, with the man who I think has been familiar with a P1 finish in TTML recently. It is QRT Yona, and Yona, another domination drive, I've got to say. Obviously, lasted the mediums right to the end of the race. Talk us through it, because it was quite easy, to be honest.
No, it wasn't easy. The first part wasn't easy. Getting out of the DRS, I had to push like crazy. Once I managed to break the 1 second gap, extended just a little bit more, lap over lap, and then start a bit of tire saving and just mainly just maintaining the gap. My eyes were constantly on the top left, just how much is the gap. And once it started to go bigger and bigger, I started to loosen up more and just get the car home, you know. So it may seem pretty, it may seem that it was pretty dominant, but I don't know. It could have been more. I mean, if I was to push the whole race, it would have been like, I don't know, maybe even 10 plus seconds. But this is enough for the win, you know. So I did what I had to do, and that was the most important thing, was to get the win today. Unfortunately, not the fast lap, but that's something you don't always get.
Yeah, you can't have everything in life. You can't have everything, but you can have another P1 finish, of course, carrying on that fantastic form from last season. Did that inspire you in any way tonight? Obviously, off the back of what I think was 7 out of the last 8 wins, I've got to say, last season, and obviously focusing on that, did that inspire you coming into tonight?
I mean, in this league, my eyes are definitely on the championship. So. My goal here today was to win, and I did. So I'm happy with my performance of tonight, and not gonna carry it on to next week, because next week I won't be here. I don't know what track it will be, but yeah, unfortunately someone else will win next week instead of me.
Well, maybe we get your ghost to come in and maybe teach the field a lesson.
Just a 60 AI, you know, winning the race. Yeah. No, I got a volleyball match I got to be a referee at a volleyball match. So unfortunately I can't be here. But the week after that, I think we have a sprint race then. I'll
just let you know it's Spain. Just to let you know.
Oh, okay, well.
and then I don't
like being in Spain without the S, so. But Britain next week, the week after that will be a good track to come back on.
I hope so. I've got you as my favourite to win the championship, so hopefully might be... But yeah, that's another shot for everyone on the stream. Hopefully that might be the case, though. Hopefully you will return back in 2 weeks' time to something like your brilliant best, and I'm sure only one race we can do with. Missing a couple of other races, though, I might have to come and hunt you down in terms of maybe getting the championship victory. But, Pepsi, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
I guess I'll throw to say this on front here is that yeah, you've had a good start to the season right now. Obviously, winning the first race here. Do you feel like it's going to be is it a good omen? Like it's good to start off on one good foot here, and are you happy for the season ahead?
Yeah, I think it's I did a very good job at showing everyone what I'm capable of, and what I'm here to do is to win. I just wanna before I forget it, I just wanna say to Nath Clark in the Haas that I honestly did not know what happened there. I didn't like move to the left or change lines. I kept the inside line for the first corner of the S's. I guess we just made some wheel contact and he bounced off the track. Luckily he came back and didn't DNF and managed to even get the fast lap in the end and score what was P5. So GG's to him. But I mean, if that didn't happen, I'm sorry for my language. if that didn't happen, we might have got into a huge battle. But that's maybe for the other weeks. Yeah, going into the rest of the season, just keeping up the confidence and just trying to show in the qualification what I'm capable of, and then putting that effort into the race.
Yeah. We're listening, and we're so entrenched. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, normally I keep talking, of course, right? So.
We didn't know where the period was.
No, that was it.
I don't have a question for you actually to end off, because obviously you're not going to be here next week. But Britain, of course, sprint qualifying, and of course that 50% race that we normally have. How do you think you're going to get on around there? Because I know you are quick around there.
The one-shot qualifying is always a bit of a risk. I don't want to get ahead, but probably we'll do that on mediums, and you know, lots of strategies possible in a sprint race, and going into the main race, just being up front and hopefully in first. Get a 1 second gap is always the most important thing in a race, and then just go from there.
Yeah, definitely so, and hopefully you'll be back, of course, to maybe still inherit your championship lead. Who knows what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks here in TTML F1. Go and enjoy your evening, Yona.
Thanks, and thank you, as always, for the commentary. Pepsi, was nice to have you for this one-timer, probably one time.
I may be back a couple other weeks if necessary. We'll see what schedules work. I couldn't leave up too high and dry after 2 seasons.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was a pleasure as always, and see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yeah, see you in 2 weeks' time. We will now move on, of course, to the man who finished in P2, and that was TNR Jonas. And Jonas, fantastic drive from your perspective. Recollection, I think, of the form that you had to the back end of last season, where, of course, you pick up a podium. Talk us through the race, because you're another one that got the mediums to the end.
Yeah, first, sorry for my voice, and I'm kind of sick with COVID, so not at my best, but yeah, the race was good. Started off just trying to keep it clean, and ended up being a strategy battle with the Danish lad. What's his name? DJ something?
DJ Gill.
Yeah.
DJ Gill, yeah.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for him that he had a puncture on the second to last lap, but I think we had a great battle on the last lap that was brewing. None of us really had to or wanted to stay ahead, so yeah. I think we could have had a higher tempo through the race if we both were just gunning for the victory, but we both realized that it was a fight for P2.
Yeah, fight for P2, definitely. And obviously, you saw that puncture from DJ Gill behind you as well. Were you in any doubt about your tyres towards the end of the race? Because they looked like they were getting quite towards the end of their life.
Yeah, in the last corner I had 70%, so but I wasn't taking any risks on the final lap. I was staying away from the curbs, and it was easy on the power and braking, so I wasn't really afraid.
It really makes you wonder how bad DJ Gill's tires were, because Clark pitted way earlier, and DJ Gill punctured on 29 to 29. So if your tires were around 70, we know puncture rates around 75, 80. And if Yona's still here, maybe you can tell us where his tires were, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he
guess
left the party.
I think he left. I was paying attention then. I figured sometimes he's still here. But anyway, yeah, kind of just odd, at the very least.
Yeah, very odd indeed, I've got to say. And obviously, in terms of next week in Spain, how do you think you're going to get on?
Well, hopefully my health will be a bit better, so my focus and yeah, hopefully I can do some practice for that one. So yeah, hopefully I'll be better and quicker. But yeah, I'm happy for a podium. Looked at the all-time stats, and I needed one podium to be on the top 3 all-time all-time podiums in TTML. So was really going for that today.
Yeah, and you have now got onto that illustrious all-time stats, and hopefully you might add a few more podiums to go with it as well. We won't keep you a moment longer. Go and get a nice rest, and go and enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
Very welcome indeed, and we'll now move on to Noisy, who of course finished in P3, of course making the step up from AlphaTauri to the Red Bull. And Noisy, fantastic drive, I've got to say, from your perspective. Were you in any doubt of trying to get a podium here? Because it looked like it was quite hard work.
Well, it's Bahrain, and Bahrain isn't my speciality, but yeah, I think we just won on strategy by like good thinking, and York just tried something because he was like further back, still managed to get some good points, but just got unlucky with traffic. So yeah, I think just the strategy, like how I played it out, I just took a risk on the hards. Just thought, yeah, what do I have to lose? It's Bahrain. I'm not good at it. So, yeah, it turned out to be good.
Stroke of genius, I think, finishing in P3 in the end. Were you at all worried about Nathan Clark behind you? Because he was on that sort of soft compound tyre, absolutely mincing his way through the field in the final couple of laps. If there was another lap, do you think he would have got a podium?
If there was another lap, he would have got it, because he's on fresh softs, and now I'm like, what was 21 laps hards, but in that kind of situations I don't look back until he's like right behind me. It only gives you more pressure, and we're just like messing with your own mind, so you lose your mindset, you lose your focus. So yeah, that's just like I don't want to say it, but it's a dumb thing to do. Of course you gotta like anticipate, but unless he's not right behind me, I'm not really thinking about it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's always good, I think, to get the focus on the track in front rather than the cars behind, because I know I've been in those pressure situations before as well. Pepsi, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
I guess I'll throw one out there. Remember, you and your teammate last season were champions at the constructors level, and it is worth noting at the very least that this first round has been an okay round, but definitely a little bit of a misfire per se, as I think some of the teams did finish a little bit better. So I guess my question is, how's the path of defending look like for you two? With the rest of the rounds, like any tracks that look good, any tracks that maybe look a little bit bad on the calendar coming up?
Well, we don't really look on tracks, like we just hop on every Thursday, and like barely do any practice. Like we do a few laps like an hour before, but it's not like we do any crazy sort of practice. Like I think the hour before the race is the only thing we practice about, and we just like on the day, like then next week we'll see, oh wait, it's that track again, and then we hop on an hour before, sometimes even less, and we just drive. And yeah, to be honest, we're not really thinking about defending. Of course we want to bring it home again, but like we already got it 3 times in a row, so it's not like I feel the extra pressure to like get it again as if it's the first title. Like I just see it how the season goes, and yeah, I think we didn't really get a bad start. Like we had worse starts, so yeah, I think we just need to keep consistent, and I think like me and York have proven that season in, season out, that we are like one of the most consistent duos here.
Fair enough. That's why I think I said last season York was Mr. Consistency, so it doesn't shock me, but that is a level-headed approach, so it's good to hear at the very least. But yeah, like the other two, hopefully you enjoy your evening, Noisy, and hopefully next week you are here with James as well.
Yes, thank you guys.
Very welcome indeed, and we'll now probably end off the stream here, because that is the interviews over and done with. Big thank you, of course, to Yona, to Noisy, and to Jonas for joining us for the interviews as well. Much appreciated, as always. Pepsi, I'm going to come across to you. No, you've already said it. Driver of the day is...
You're gonna say Yona. I think both Yona and Clark deserve like co-driver day here because Clark's recovery drive was so great at the end that we again rode him off there with 10 to go, pitting, wondering why he pit for softs and got it back up to 4th. Sure, we needed some chaos around him to happen, but still, great drive to get back up there, capitalizing. Yona just in a world of his own, led from flag pillar to post, they would say. So I think it's a toss between the two. I say Clark, you probably say Yona, and I think Co would be probably a good omen for both of them.
Yeah, definitely. I feel sorry for Storm, who has to put one driver of the day now in the app. So I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go for Nathan Clark for driver of the day, just to put it on an even playing field, because unfortunately for Storm, he has to put only one driver in the app for driver of the day. That is us done for TTML F2 tonight. Big thank you, of course, to Pepsi for joining me in the comment box as always. And we will see you, of course, next week in Spain, 24th to 27th of February. TTML has begun. New drivers, new season. Might be the same old commentator, but my God, we're going to have a great time, I think, in TTML this season. And, of course, Spain, Britain, China to come up before the first break week. Saudi Arabia, Belgium, Australia before the second break week. And then we run through Emilia-Romagna in Imola, Japan, United States, Mexico, Italy and Brazil. All going to be fantastic tracks, and I'm sure all going to be great races as well. Really hope you enjoyed the commentary. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, take that notification bell, of course, if you are brand new to the channel, and myself and whoever will be joining me in the commentary box next week, to be confirmed, will be joining me in the commentary box next week, and we will, of course, see you then. But final thing from me, of course, there is a big storm coming over here in the UK. Please stay safe wherever you are, and don't travel if it's absolutely necessary. School, probably not necessary, so you might have the day off tomorrow. Don't be surprised. It's not all bad in terms of the storm coming, but stay safe, keep your wits about you, and that's it. Thank you so much for watching tonight here in TTML F2, and until next time, goodbye.